Say what needs to be said. It's your host, your big dog, Asante, Mr. Pick Six Samuel. Yeah, that's me. 50 interceptions. That's me. And with my co-host, my dog, Mr. Elton, EP The Truth, Patterson. We in the building. We in the building, baby. We in the building.
Hey, we here today. It's good Thursday, what they say, Friday Eve. So we in the building. EP The Truth in the building, man. Let's go.
EP The Truth in the building. You know, he's going to bring you that truth, man. What's been going on, man? How you been doing? You been traveling a lot? You been around the world?
No,
He's a traveling man. He loves to travel. He be around the world and back. What's up, D-Pat? What's up, baby?
What's up, D-Pat? No, I ain't travel this week. It was just a chill week, kind of getting caught up on a lot of work things. You know, it's the entrepreneur world. You got to be the traveler and the what they call it, the assistant, right? The GM. So I was just getting caught up with all my stuff, brother.
That's how it go when you're building your business. You got to start from the bottom, and grind your way to the top. That's how you do it. I was in New York, man. New York is kind of different. Me being a South Florida kid my whole life, New York is kind of different. I was up there for a track meet. Love to compete. My kids competing. Gets the best of the best all over the world. You know what I mean? She be going toe to toe. So y'all watch out for my daughter. She run track. She run the hurdles. One day I'm gonna bring her on and let her talk a little bit. Let us see what she think of her daddy and the good and the bad. Y'all can hear it from the kids, so y'all can get a different perspective. You know what I mean? But we're a competing family. We're a competing family. Like I said, my problem is in life, everything I do tends to somehow, some way be competition or end up in competition. And I think that drives and push people. That's cool. You know what I mean? What you gonna say, brother?
No, I just want to see her perspective of her journey. It's huge. Like, she's competing at the top of the world at a young age, bro. I want to see her mindset of what that's like, and it's a solid thing. See what people don't understand, and I learned this about in school about it's a difference between a team sport and a solitary sport when they're and they specialize in a sport or a career early on in life. And that got to be tough, man. I want to see her mindset, man. She's one of few.
Yeah. All right, man. Let's jump right into it, man. Let's get into it. They're hearing, man, to the Ravens. I want to know, does this make this team better? What was the purpose of bringing Derrick Henry to the Ravens? Obviously, you want bet more players. The more quality players you get on your team, the more you think you're building your team up. But in reality, in all actuality, what do you think, Mr. EP The Truth? Does Derrick Henry make the Baltimore Ravens better, brother?
I think as a whole, yes. Right. Derrick Henry, his history of a powerful, downhill but fast, elite running back has always been good. Now, let's be realistic with Father Time. He's 30 years old, right? And most running backs, they age differently from a receiver or quarterback. Once you hit 28, 27, 28, they started like the shelf life because they take so much abuse. But he's steady holding on. And one of the main reasons I think in particular why he's good with the Ravens is because if you look at his stats, he still had he's durable, right? He played all 17 games last season. Right. And he still ran, Derrick Henry, he ran for 1,100 yards, basically, right? 1,167 yards. So he's still a highly productive back. Now, are you going to say let's center our whole team around him? No, 30 years old. But go back and look at the AFC games. Go back and look at it. And one of the main reasons they lost is because they could not run the ball. And you got to run the ball in the playoffs. And I think that's why they addressed it. Literally, the Baltimore Ravens only had 81 yards, right? And 53 of those was from Lamar Jackson. So that means out of all the running backs on the roster, they only got 20 yards out of them in a AFC championship game to go to the Super Bowl. So you bring in a Derrick Henry or somebody to come in to help utilize that, relieve Lamar Jackson and compound that ball a little bit. Oh, you talking Super Bowl team. So theoretically, yes, he's supposed to help them.
Right. Good word, like you're saying, theoretically. And we can't just think of names, right? Like you said, we got to think of recent productivity, right? And how does Derrick Henry fit into this whole equation? And obviously, he's the threat, and he is the big bruising running back that he always been. He definitely adds value and fits the concept of the Baltimore Ravens. But we have to be honest with ourselves, right? We want to be honest with ourselves. Like you said, Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson is the main running threat over there. He had 800 yards rushing. He led the team in rushing. Now they have a backup. I mean, the starting running back, 800 yards rushing, right? Can Derrick Henry surpass 800 yards rushing? That's a give or take because Lamar Jackson is the actual running back and the one who moves this running game. So for me, bringing Derrick Henry in was just, I think he's a piece to the puzzle, right? He has to just be a piece to the puzzle, right? So he's massive. He's abusing running back. He can continue to wear down and tear down a defense and help them with their ball possession and time of ball control.
Right.
And that's what I think he is going to bring to the table. But like I said, he's just a piece of the pie. And they have to continue to build and bring in players around Lamar Jackson to help build. Derrick Henry is just a piece. Now, the other running back, Keaton Mitchell, he didn't play as much. He doesn't get much reps. But when he's in the game, he's very explosive. He's a 4-3 guy. And he's the one that's a great game breaker. If they can find the ways to get him the ball and get him more involved in the game plan, I think he would be the go-to guy. And if they can develop him, he can stay healthy and all those things, then yes. But at the end of the day, the Baltimore Ravens have to be figuring out how to make this team better with Lamar Jackson. And in order to do that, they have to find them another Xavier Flowers or a bigger version of him. And that's probably going to come in the draft. They have the 30th pick in the draft, which means they did good. They're really good this season, right? 30th pick of the draft. And they will have opportunity to get a quality receiver or offensive player. And a couple of names in the draft. You got the guy Xavier Worthy, who just ran the 4.21. His productivity wasn't as high, but his upside looks great because of his speed. Now, if he's still there at number 30, you bring him in, and now you have Derrick Henry, you have him. Now you're talking about building towards a Super Bowl. You know what I mean? And then after Xavier Worthy, you have A.D. Mitchell. He's a good size receiver. Could be physical. You know what I mean? I don't know if he quite fits, but he could possibly be there, a good quality player. And then you got Keon Coleman from Florida State. I think this would be the perfect match. He got good speed, good agility, he's athletic, and he will be a great fit on the other side to complement Xavier Flowers, right? And then you have Xavier Leggett. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, from Leggett from South Carolina. He reminds me of Deebo Samuels. He will bring that type of energy and style to the offense, which can definitely help Lamar Jackson and bring a different, he'd be able to get the ball out quick, do some running catches along with Xavier Flowers. So I think they have to pay attention to the receiver spot to go along with Derrick Henry. So right now, Derrick Henry is just a piece of the puzzle. I don't think anything changes. Maybe get a few more yards that Lamar Jackson don't have to get. But as far as that, it's just a piece of the puzzle right now. So don't look at the names. Don't look at all the glam and the glory. Because like you said, I didn't touch on that. His best season was in 2020.
Right.
And ever since then, it's been downhill. His ninth season, like you said, he's 30 years old. How healthy can he stay? How much does he still have in his heart and desire to want to lead a team?
Right. Hey, but be careful now. Be careful because it's hard. Like, he had 2,000 yards that season, his best season. So it's hard to eclipse that. So it's sometimes you already know. You've been there. You get 10 picks. You come away with 7. They talking about you had a down year. Right. So he's still been productive. But I agree with what you're saying in regards to what role would he play in that offense. And I don't think they need the 2,000 yards. Well, they would take it if he could do it. But I think they're looking at him to come in as a guy to keep the time of possession in their hand, right? to bruise it when they need a first down. Instead of Lamar doing the quarterback sneak, they can just give it to him, right? They just need that. If he can come out with maybe 700 yards on this year, I'm thinking they're completely satisfied. But now, me personally, this is my
not just him.
opinion.
It can't just be him. It had to be him with 700 yards. Who's the starting running back? Gus. I think his name Gus. I can't remember his last name. He needs 700-800 yards, and Lamar Jackson needs 700-800 yards, and then that will make it a good balanced fit. You know what I mean?
Right.
Attack.
And then you always got to look at how they paid them too. So basically, they gave him a 2-year, $16 million deal, but it's really only $9 million guaranteed, because if they split the reps or yards, you already know they're going to control the narrative on that. So you basically giving Derrick Henry $4.5 million, which is not, it's not 10 to 12 million a year, like Pollock and all them boys got, but it's just enough. It sounds like they are going in right with what they want to go in at with him. But let me tell you this, I think they see a little bit of what I see personally. And when I see Derrick Henry now, I see a big, stiff, non-explosive guy. Like, I'm watching him, and he just looks not fast. Not saying that he can't break it, not saying he can't get yards, but he looks non-explosive, he looks stiff, and he looks big. And I'm thinking like,
stiff and big, stiff and big.
Yeah, stiff and big.
That's what happens when you get older, man. Lets you know how to keep that flexibility and tagging. You keep stretching every day. You know how to do the right stretches. You know what I mean?
or train with lining up. They can stay explosive.
yeah. Train with lining up, baby. You stay explosive and flexibility, guaranteed, baby. As long as you can, as long as your body allows you to. But man. So Lamar Jackson still has to play how Lamar Jackson plays in order for this team to be successful or be a contender as they was before. He MVP type regular season last year, and there's nothing going to change with Derrick Henry there. Like you say, he may be able to get a few of those short yardage. He may be able to have a few good games where he's just abusing and running over the defense and wearing them out. You know what I mean?
Right.
But they need that when it's time to play against San Francisco or it's time to play against Kansas City Chiefs. They need that help at that receiver spot so Lamar Jackson doesn't have to feel like he's doing it all by himself.
Right.
That's what's going on. That's what's going on.
I agree.
All right, so now we got Calvin Ridley. Calvin Ridley to the Tennessee Titans on a 4-year, $92 million deal. And social media is just losing their mind because they don't understand why Calvin Ridley was able to get this deal and not A.J. Brown.
Right.
And people, they always looking at things for what it is right there in front of them. They don't do their homework and understand what was going on. But for me, I think this was a good pickup for the Tennessee Titans. Yes, if you could have kept A.J. Brown, that would have been awesome. But here's the thing. Like I say, just look at it now. When A.J. Brown was traded and signed to the Philadelphia Eagles, their stats was pretty much the same. Calvin Ridley just had over 1,000 yards in his first season with the Jacksonville Jaguars after missing the whole entire season last year, right? A.J. Brown, same situation when he was with Tennessee Titans. 1,000 yards, just over 1,000 yards. We could blame the quarterback. We can say it was Ryan Tannehill or, whoever, whatever, you know what I mean? But it was the same amount of stats, same amount of yards. Now, A.J. Brown goes to Philadelphia Eagles and starts lighting it up. He starts going crazy. And the difference is, he's a playmaker. Jalen Hurts and him made a great connection. That's what they're hoping, that Calvin Ridley can do the same thing with Will Levis. And now we're waiting to see how Will Levis will develop because Calvin Ridley is a good player. And the thing that separates me, separates the two that I like, or like what I like about one and the difference what I like about the other, Calvin Ridley and A.J. Brown, is Calvin Ridley. He creates separation in his route. When he runs his routes, he sticks his foot in the ground. The quarterback has a little more room, and it's easier to find these open targets. Whereas A.J. Brown is just a playmaker. It don't matter if he's open or not. Throw the ball up, get the ball to A.J. Brown, and he's going to make the plays. And that's how he's been able to immense over 1,500 yards over at the Philadelphia Eagles in his first couple of seasons. You know what I mean? So, y'all they gotta relax on Twitter. You know what I mean? They always everybody think they genius on Twitter, can figure out every situation, all the scenarios, and they have the greatest take. So let's tweet it out. Let's make some graphics and things like that. What you think about Calvin Ridley? Well, how you feel about Calvin Ridley?
Looking back at him, I always thought he was an explosive player. He was just like that. You ever see like that type of player, similar to like when Deshaun got to the Eagles? He was just that type of fast, explosive, just player, exciting player. The only thing that really took away from his career was that that gambling thing that he got in trouble with, where he got suspended, right?
Right.
That really knocked his kind of eliteness off of the mark. And, you know, for y'all that don't know, he got suspended for gambling or betting on games, which he was part of the games that he was betting on. Right?
The whole season last year, the whole season he was suspended. So he didn't even play. You know what I mean?
I call it the comeback of the year, because for you to come back and hit them like that, it's like, were you that great, or were you just kind of like continuing your path that you was on? And you already know he went 29th pick. He went 29th pick in the first round. Well, 26th pick in the first round, right? So he got that first round talent, and he was producing in Atlanta. He was great. So now he goes down there to Jacksonville, gets over 1,000 yards. He got 1,000 yards, right? 76 catches for 1,016 yards. So what kind of surprised everybody, I think, is because he can't. Jacksonville, you're not getting a lot of pubs, so they really we haven't been seeing Calvin Ridley like that. If he was coming out of Atlanta, not getting out of trouble, you would probably have him on Julio Jones level. Coming out of Jacksonville, 1,000-yard receiver, who is this guy? But looking at the particular player in particular, that dude is explosive, man. Like you say, he can get out of breaks in and out. He can take a yard. He can do everything. So I get it. And don't look at the 90 million. You know, I'm always got to talk contract talks with you, my boy. And at the end of the day, I'm not saying it's chump change, but it's not $1 million contract. It's a $50 million guarantee over 4 years, which equals $12.5 million a year, which is amazing. But it's not $100 million deal. So, I think he deserves it. And I think versus AJ Brown, it's just a non-thing that they're making something out of it on Twitter. I think it's a good move for Tennessee. And plus, I think Will Levis, he got that Brett Favre in him. He's a gunslinger, and he likes to throw that ball over the field. So he's gonna throw it up and let Calvin go get it. I think it's gonna be pretty lit over there.
Right. Like you said, we got to give it a chance, because here's the thing. For me, for you, for anybody that's in the NFL, when you sign your first new deal, you're supposed to become a better player. You're supposed to show this team that you are an elite player in this NFL. That's why they're giving you the big bucks. And that's what A.J. Brown did. And now we got to give Calvin Ridley a chance to do the same thing. So that's what we're waiting to see on how everything pans out, right?
Right.
So, you know, that's
tell me this real quick. How that first practice go, man? After you get that big money, you on that new team, do you kind of walk on the field a little like you the man a little bit? Like you got like
that's a good question. That is a great question. How does it feel when you the new free agent signing and you just introduced to that first team, your first day of practice, first day in the locker room? How is the camaraderie? Does everybody receive you well? It just depends on your personality and who you are.
Right.
You know, for me, it wasn't a problem at all because of my personality. I'm cool. You know, I talk to everybody, and I don't have no funny ways and issues about me. So if you're not authentic, you have certain ways, you might rub certain people wrong. Like you say, if you operate differently in the locker room, you might want to go to the car and read books when everybody's, you know, fellowshipping and stuff like that. Yeah. You think you're an all-star, you think you're better than everybody because you just got paid. You're gonna rub everybody wrong, and it's not gonna sit well. So that's a pretty good question. And I think too, GMs, coaches, and so on, they do their homework about these players because you don't want to bring a cancer into their locker room. A person that will come in there and have bad energy, bringing people down, and you know, doing things that just isn't good for the team. So you know, keep your slate clean out there if y'all trying to make it to the NFL and get that $100 million. You know, big bucks. But don't be fooled, like you say, by the fluff contracts. The real contract is the real contract. A lot of that stuff be fluff a lot of times. So
correct.
You know what I mean? So shout out to Calvin Ridley, a South Florida kid, South Florida boy. Stand up, do your thing,
Yes, sir.
make everybody proud, baby. Now the NFC South. We talked about the NFC South. We had it wrong. We called it NFC East. We was just all off. But now, right, we talking about the NFC South, and we previously talked about how Baker Mayfield resigning and Mike Evans resigning. Pretty much, they're the champions of the NFC South. They're going to win the division. We talked about that because it's an easy path. Not that they're that good or this team is so well. You had the Carolina Panthers, you had the New Orleans Saints, then you had the Atlanta Falcons, right? On our last episode, I think we talked about that. Now, just like that, things have changed. Now the Atlanta Falcons have Kirk Cousins, right? And before, it was all about Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now, this NFC South just became a very competitive division. What does 35-year-old Kirk Cousins, coming off a serious injury, which is his Achilles, what does he bring to the table? Is this the NFC South Division of Champions, the Atlanta Falcons, along with Kirk Cousins?
Kirk Cousins. First, let's not Big Money Kirk. That's what I'm calling him right now.
Big Money Kirk. Boy,
Big Money Kirk in his career.
You know how to collect them checks, don't he, boy?
Brother, he has amassed over $330 million in his career and has only won one playoff game. So
are you kidding me?
That gotta be a record somewhere. Like you know how you think of that? You think of Tom Brady, Peyton Manning. Nah, it's Kirk, Big Money Kirk, right? So
Shout
now,
out to Kirk. Jeez.
Right. So now he comes in to Atlanta, get $100 million. Now his is not fluff. His $100 million is guaranteed $100 million, right? So he's coming into Atlanta with this $100 million deal. But here's the deal, man. 35 years old, and he has a torn Achilles. So how he got that, I don't know. Everybody's talking about his agent need to be in the Hall of Fame because he's getting these record deals and haven't put a whole lot out there. But he does make them more competitive. I think he makes them more whole, theoretically, being that he can bounce back from his injury. These injuries, they're not easy to bounce back from. So him coming in there makes it a little bit more competitive, but I still got Tampa Bay, man.
You still got Tampa?
I still got Tampa Bay, man. They're solid.
Man. I don't know. I might have shifted, and I might have to take Atlanta Falcons, but I don't know. But what makes it interesting, though, what makes it interesting is Kirk Cousins is coming in with first-year offensive coordinator Zach Robinson, who has that LA Rams pedigree. So he was over there. He was over to be able to see. He was the quarterback coach. He was the maybe the wide receiver coach. It was always on the offensive side of the ball. Man, he got to see Matthew Stafford win the Super Bowl, him go over there and execute. So he might be able to bring that style of play, that offensive mindset mentality over there with Sean McVay. You know what I mean? So it might be a good fit. It might end up working out with Kirk Cousins. But that first year experience may make a difference. But I want to see how this pan out because maybe Kirk Cousins will have more influence over Zach Robinson and tell him what he likes and how he needs to orchestrate offenses and plays and things like that to fit him directly. So we're gonna see, man, because it's very interesting tape.
Do you think it was a better sign for them to get Kirk Cousins opposed to Justin Fields?
I would go with a healthy Kirk Cousins over Justin Fields. Like I said, Justin Fields is just a guy that I want to bring on as someone to compete, potentially a backup player, and then I want to find my franchise quarterback, and have Justin Fields there because he's a dynamic threat. He's a dual threat. He's big. He's massive. Great arm. So he has a lot of talent. So I would definitely have Justin Fields on my team. I would still bring him along with Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean? Like I said, even like in last year during the season. Two teams need two starting quarterbacks to succeed in NFL because you can't depend on one quarterback no matter who he is because they're one play away against these big, massive men falling on each other, and it's like, whoa.
Right.
So
Yeah,
man,
that makes sense.
so
I
Kirk
think Justin, when you bring that up, I think he would have benefited from not having to start his first couple of years, like sitting back watching. I think he would have greatly benefited from that.
You big on that? You big on that? Sitting back on your first year and
quarterbacks, yes. Any other position, though. Quarterback, though, yeah. It's cerebral. It's all mental. So it's so much you got to learn and stuff, man. So yeah, and then you get considered a bust when you don't perform.
Yeah,
it's just it's a tough position.
yeah. How about them Cowboys? Them doggone Cowboys, free agency hits and silence. You can hear a pin drop in the room. Like, what is going on? Every year they talk about they want to win the Super Bowl. They're going to win the Super Bowl, and it's time to make this team better. You can hear a pin drop in the room. Right. Now, it's one position that they needed to pay attention to, and that was the only signing that we've seen so far, which is Eric Kendricks, middle linebacker from San Diego Chargers and the Minnesota Vikings. Right? So they had I think his name was Vander Esch. He's the starting linebacker. Obviously, he's injured. He wasn't able to play. It's questionable, his future with his neck and things like that. And yeah, so we bought in. We feeling that. We feeling that void a little bit, right? Got to get some quality role players, right? Because Micah Parsons he's a sacker. He's going to go get the sack. Right. But what the heck are we doing as the Cowboys? I'm not saying me as a Cowboys fan. What is Jerry Jones doing? Jerry Jones, let me tell you what happened to Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones has lost his juice. He has lost his juice, and the team is capped out in his eye. And he's just confused right now. So he's confused, and he don't know what to do and how to handle this Dallas team. He's just filling in spots at this point, right? He once had the juice back in the days. You know, people get older and stuck in their ways. And I think he's like that. He's more of a friendly friendship type of owner. And he loves these superstars. So he wants these superstars on the team. That's what's blinding him. He's not understanding the real players, the players that'll make plays. And the superstars is kind of confusing him. Because now, Dak, get ready for the heat. Dak is nothing going to change for Dak. Dak is going to get attacked. He's going to get criticized because this team is going to be exactly the same. The leadership, the mentality, the willpower to win games, nothing going to change because it starts from the top with the leadership of Jerry Jones. And until he steps down, what's going to happen?
Brother, he cannot step down because he's older, man. That's all he got. So you gotta give some purpose. So he gonna ride it till the wheels fall off, right? And being the owner. But remember back in the day where Dallas was like America's team, right? And I feel bad for all the Dallas fans because they seem like they get so disappointed. But all the players wanted to go play. If you had a chance to get drafted or play for the Dallas Cowboys, you took it. That was the spot to be at. Now it's like, them Cowboys, man, they ain't talking about nothing. And it's only because they're not making splashes, man. They're not trying to do what it takes to win, and they leaving their fan base guessing on what's going on. Like, I don't even know if they have a running back. But they didn't sign one, so they let Tony Pollard go. Like, who is their running back right now? You know what I'm saying? I think it's Vaughn, the guy they drafted.
I think they did sign Nick Moss. Nick Moss from the Indianapolis Colts.
Is it Zach Moss?
Zach Moss, yeah. Zach Moss.
Okay. Either way, they're not making a splash in this free agency, and it's almost like
because they don't know. You don't know. Jerry Jones don't know where to splash at. You got every position in this field. You got the receivers. You got corners. You got offensive line. You got defensive line. Where are you gonna make the splash at?
Right.
So that's what I mean by he's capped out. He's capped out mentally. He doesn't know what to do with the team, and he's just surrounded by superstars. And the superstardom is just kicking his butt because, like I say, you need those role players. You need role players. It's so bad they had Marquise Bell starting at linebacker. And if you don't know who Marquise Bell is, he is a hybrid guy. He's a safety linebacker, little undersized. And
about 214 from FAMU, about 214 pounds.
That 214 pounds. And this is what I mean. This is the issue. How are we filling these gaps, or how are they filling these gaps? And it's not really. But let a superstar come available. Let someone with a big name and, you know, a pass that is really awesome, elite, all pro. And Jerry Jones is going to be looking to sign him because of the name of the role players. And we still have the draft, so we're going to see what he does in the draft. But until then, and now, the drama is going to still happen, and it's going to spark up. The flames are going to ignite higher and higher because Dak Prescott is under investigation, allegedly from a 2017, some allegations. You know what I mean? So my question too, if I don't know if you've seen about these allegations, if you didn't, Dak Prescott came out and said he's suing the accuser and that lawyer for extortion, allegedly, whatever, you know, whatever the situation may be.
Right.
My question is, did he do that to try to get out in front of what's really going on? Because they're investigating the extortion, and they also investigating the 2017 of that allegations. So the drama has already started. It has already begun. It's not even mini camp. The draft haven't even begun. So until they figure out a way to make this team come together, be one, and not just Dallas Cowboy, the stars on our helmet, I don't see things changing. That leadership needs to switch. I don't know.
Well, it even started with everybody and their mama knew. All right, here come a new coach. He like, nah, I'm gonna ride with Mike McCarthy. And everybody's still like, you still riding with that coach? Like, it's almost like, no, we good. We're gonna win the Super Bowl with what we got right now. And everybody's like, how? How are you gonna do that? Like, how? And they just quiet, bro. They not even talking. They just doing nothing right now.
Yeah, doing nothing. You know, and you know, I'm excited to see Trayvon Diggs come back. I want to see what he's gonna do. They didn't have him there, but they had the rookie. The defensive player of the year on the team to fill the void. So that was a good. You know, that was DeRon Bland. That was a good situation. Okay, you showed you had depth. You showed you can build a team. One player goes down, another can fill the void. I'm ready to see Trayvon get back. Right. So I don't know, man. Anything else they can do? I don't really see what he can do to get this team better unless he get rid of some superstars. And I don't know if he is willing to do that, or he sees the same way I see it. So
I'm with you.
So in the NFL, let me tell y'all, man, in the NFL, if you sign with your rivalry, now you are dead to the rivalry team. We just finding this out. Saquon Barkley signs with my Eagles, and now the Giants fan base, Tiki Barber, comes out and say, Saquon Barkley is dead to us. He's dead to him. And everybody didn't take that too lightly. But if you understand these rivalries, they are the real deal Holyfield. I mean, they are biting, scratching, kicking, poking, you name it. That's what's going on in the stands, in the facilities, on the football field, and everywhere. So these comments are heating up, and I think it's being taken too far out of proportion. And now we have Ryan Clark and Tiki Barber going at it because of the comments Tiki Barber made saying Saquon Barkley is dead to him.
Right.
What did Ryan Clark have to say about those dead to me comments?
Well, I think for people that don't know, for you guys that haven't been following the story, but Saquon Barkley, he does what's best for him, and obviously you go for the money, right? And let me say this too, for all my non-elite, non-star players, it don't matter if you go play for the other team. It's really for the top 10% of the guys on the roster, right? Like Tom Brady can't go play for the Jets. You feel me?
Right.
Peyton Manning can't go play for Jacksonville Jaguars. Like all of those rivalries you can't do. 90% of the roster, it don't matter. But we're here now. Saquon Barkley goes and plays with the rivalry.
Right.
Tiki Barber says, you're dead to us. Ryan Clark comes on and says, hey, man, basically, in a nutshell, you shouldn't say that about him because you've never really been for the youth or the guys coming up, and you're a hater. And it's getting heated.
You're not a good teammate. You never been.
Yeah, you never been. And Ryan was his teammate. A lot of people don't know this, but Ryan Clark, he was a rookie free agent. He went to New York Giants, right? $1,000 signing bonus. I don't know you do that, but $1,000 signing bonus. I got more of a signing bonus than Ryan Clark. Mine was $19,000. His was $1,000, but he got $1,000. So he's
that $1,000 signing bonus. I know Ryan Clark. If he ain't tell that story one day, he gonna tell it, boy, because boy, those days are never heard of again.
Right, $1,000 signing bonus as a free agent. So now, in the locker room, when you come into a locker room, you're looking for the veterans to kind of try to look out for you a little bit. So Ryan coming in with all right, I'm barely here. I know I can make it. I know I'm good. But Tiki, like, looking at him like he's nothing. I guess that's what he's saying. Like, he's not helping him out with financial stuff, financial awareness. He's not helping him on the field. He's just not being a good vet. He's kind of turning his back. So Ryan went off on him like, you've been a hater. You've never been a great teammate. And and you still the same way after all these years, even talking about Saquon Barkley. And Tiki went back with him saying, just shut up.
Shut up.
You don't know what you're talking about. I took care of Brandon Jacobs.
That's Brandon Jacobs. Hey, whoa, what are you
Brandon Jacobs. So they got some mess
like you said, man. So he said he wasn't a great teammate. And just because like he's on that team already. But imagine if he became a free agent and now you go to another team. And then however Ryan Clark felt, if he bring that energy to another team, now you have a team feeling like this. You have to deal with it, of course, because this guy signed to a contract, he's on the team. But in all actuality, there's some issues. And it might explode one day and it eventually might come out. So, I don't know how you're supposed to feel about this. Actually, yeah, you want everybody to get your money, but I don't care if you play for the other team. Yeah, you might be dead to me. I might want to, do something to you in the game because you dead to me. Because this rivalry is intense. But those guys just going at it, saying their thing, and that sounds a little personal. It sounds like some personal issues they got, which is obvious. When you said you're not a great teammate. Michael Strahan was a good teammate, and he's an Eagle now, baby. Fly, Eagles fly. So if you're gonna hate him, hey, you gotta hate him, Tiki Barber. You know what I mean? Bring that Super Bowl home, Eagles.
You know what? That's a good thing. When I was going through it, I was telling myself, it sounds like a bunch of football jargon at the end of the day. You know how it is, like we cool or we was on the same team, but now it's like it's just competitive football talk, and you with another team now, and they just older guys doing it. That's what it sounds like to me.
Yeah.
It went a little personal though, because Ryan was like, "That's why nobody likes you, and that's why you can't keep a TV gig." I was like, "Whoa."
Dang. I mean, it might sound personal and things like that, but we don't say what needs to be said. It'd be a lot of truth in what y'all may perceive as jokes and things and people ranting and stuff like that. So it might be a lot of truth in that thing. You know what I mean?
Right.
If that's what's happening at other jobs and things like that, that's what's going on. Man. 9519, what's up? What they do? Deep side. So yeah, man, Tiki Barber, man. I just think it was the way he said it and the expressions is like saying it with his chest, like he meant it. Like he's dead to me. Like I see you in the streets, might be a problem or something like that, man. Like the way he expressed it, it's just like whoo. But I don't know how many rivalries you've been in or people experience. That Eagles Giants rivalry, man. Me coming from the New England Patriots, New York Jets rivalry, and who else? The Giants ended up being a rivalry, but the Jets was the main rivalry when I first got there. And those rivalries over there when I was in New England wasn't as intense as these other rivalries when I went to Atlanta and Philly. So it gets real, real serious. Like in Atlanta, you got the Who Dat Nation. Atlanta Falcons and New Orleans Saints hate each other guts the same way Philadelphia Eagles and the New York Giants hate each other guts. So these rivalries get serious. And it's like when you're playing on the team and you're going to war with your teammates and your brothers and stuff like that. And at that moment, you would tell yourself that I would never sign with that team.
Right.
Because you're in the moment. You know, your adrenaline is rolling. You're hype. You can't, you know what I mean? You're on cloud 9. And at that moment, man, they can offer me whatever. I ain't signing with them. I'll go to another team. But when you cool down, season over, you'll go to that team. You go right to that team, get that check, and play for that team. Quick, fast, and in a hurry, baby. You know what I mean? So,
of course, yes, of course.
Tell me if you ever heard of somebody turning down the money because they didn't want to go to the rival team.
I can't fathom that. I don't. Maybe when football was not so much money generated, focused, right? But I can't fathom you saying, no, I'm gonna go play with Baltimore Ravens that's giving me $8 million, and this other team offer me $80 million just because I don't see that. It don't only make logical sense, right? It's just a game at the end of the day. So
it's a game. You're just competing. You know, this ain't college. It's actually a job at this point. So it's just a job.
Correct.
Because guess what? If you turn down that money and the team don't want to sign you and nobody else want to sign you after that, then what the hell you left with?
Right.
You know what I mean? If the Giants don't want to sign Saquon Barkley back and give him his fair due, and then the rival Eagles don't step up and want to sign him, and that's all he got. Right. Then what the hell is he supposed to do?
Right. Well, he was loyal to the Giants, so he got loyalty, and they invite him back when they have like Ring of Honor stuff.
Yeah,
that's about it, though.
Lord.
That's about it, though.
Yeah. But the biggest free agent signing of the year so far has to be Kirk Cousins.
Right.
They riding that Derrick Henry train like it's like he's the key. He's the answer to the offense to get them over the hump. But man, I think they're biting too much of the bait on that one. I don't see what he can do.
I don't see that either. I don't think Derrick Henry is the key to success. I think he's a vital part to hopefully get closer to the Super Bowl, but I don't see him as like the splash free agent signing. We going to the Super Bowl now. You know, it's not the splash like when Peyton Manning went to Denver. Like Denver had no chance before he goes there. We got a chance to go to the Super Bowl now. I don't think it's that bad.
Mm-hmm. We'll see, man. We'll see. We'll see. Draft is coming up. We'll see what these teams select and stuff like that. Now we got TikTok, man. How y'all feel about TikTok, man? They talk about doing away with TikTok and us Americans are not have access and be able to use TikTok anymore. There's a lot of livelihoods going on TikTok, and the U.S. is coming in full force, said, no way, Jose. We don't want this in our country. This is bad. This is a security threat. It's a security risk, so on and so forth. How do y'all feel about them wanting to get rid of TikTok when there's so many people making a living off TikTok? What's up with TikTok?
Oh, man. Here we go. So, like you said, TikTok is owned by someone or some corporation, pretty much Chinese, right? They own it. They own all the rights.
Someone from the Chinese, from China, owns TikTok. through some other company, somehow, some way. When you fight through all the paperwork and the LLCs and, this company, someone from China owns TikTok.
So the House passed the bill, or overwhelmingly passed the bill, is 352 to 65 vote to ban TikTok if they don't sell. So they're trying to make them sell it to someone else. They're not saying you can't have TikTok.
Not just any someone else, to an American someone else. You can't be Chinese, you can't be Japanese, you can't be, any of those things. I guess they want you to be American to own one of these apps to let Americans use it.
Right. And the reason why, after listening to one of the leading senators, is that they have so much of an impact, and I'm thinking they said like 80% of a certain demographic of people on a certain age has TikTok account. And with the TikTok account, they can keep location. They got all y'all. I just got on there, so let me say me too. They got everybody.
Itself out of the equation, boy. Hey, whatever they saying about these kids, and you a part of that too, boy. You right on TikTok. Go dance and sing along.
Y'all dancing and singing, but they saying, because they kind of, I think the U.S. is a little bit threatened on China as far as world warfare, right? So they saying they got way too much access to everybody in America, like phone numbers, email addresses, location. And they said it's dangerous, and they're not following certain rules on displaying all of their stuff on what they got. And I guess there's certain rules that they had in place before, and they're not following that. So now they're like, hey, y'all got to sell it, man. Yeah, or we going to ban it. And if they ban it in America, it'll be huge. It'll be detrimental for them, big time. Mm-hmm. So that's where it's coming from. But on a consumer level, like me and your level, that's all that legal mumbo jumbo. It hurts a lot of people because they get paid a lot of money. These people that are TikTok influencers get paid a lot of money. A lot of them are feeding their families off of it.
Hey, come back to TikTok. Yeah, because he just brought up a good point, and I forgot to touch on that. And that's exactly my thoughts. Shout out to Johnny D, man. So Kirk Cousins coming to Atlanta Falcons is the same as Matt Ryan when he was at the Falcons. And the Atlanta Falcons nation, the city, they didn't learn to appreciate Matt Ryan. I think Matt Ryan was a good quality quarterback who can lead the team to the Super Bowl over and over if you built the team around him correctly. And that's what I think. Like you said, Kirk Cousins is the same thing as Matt Ryan. He might have a lot of yards. He's going to play very good through the season. But getting over the hump and winning that Super Bowl, they need a lot of help around them. And Atlanta Falcons is very talented. But yeah, man, it's the same team. It's the same team with these two. You hit it right on the head. Yep, you hit it right on the head.
So you played with Matt Ryan, right?
Right.
So from your perspective, I know you haven't played with Kirk Cousins. Do you think they're like very similar? Like, do you give one of them the heads up over the other one? Like, or they like dead on set? Like
I'm gonna give the edge to Kirk Cousins. I'm gonna give it to Kirk Cousins. Just because based off yards. He had a ton of yards. He's consistently, when he was I think in Minnesota, 4,400 yards, 4,500 yard season. And that will be the reason I'm gonna tip my hat and give it to Kirk Cousins over Matt Ryan.
And at one point, Matt Ryan did have a phenomenal receiver core. He had one of the best receiving cores that you could probably put together for like a 3-year span. Like, it was phenomenal.
Julio Jones, Roddy White, you had Harry Douglas, and whoever else was there. You know what I mean?
Let me know what they're lacking at in that receiving core.
Right. So they had a squad. They definitely had a squad for sure. But yeah, Kirk Cousins.
That's a great question.
Pretty much the same thing. But back to TikTok. My thing is, I think the government just wants to bully things that they don't own or control. Any security risk and threats and stuff like that, yeah, it might be a little bit, might be chance, but I'm sure they could shut that shit down and whatever. They could shut TikTok down completely right now if they wanted to. And because they don't own it, because they don't have no say-so, no authorities, no power over this app, they want to come in and do what they do. America is the bully. And American government is going to bully every time. And when it comes to that bread and that paper, that's all it's about in the end of the day. It's about the bread and the paper. The government ain't getting, they probably don't have to pay taxes to America, right? And that's probably the issue too. You collecting all this American money in China from us, but you don't have to pay any of this tax. I'm just talking shit. I don't know for sure, y'all. But something is going on. You know what I mean? Right. So TikTok, man. Hey, if y'all want TikTok to be here, y'all need to sign that petition. Y'all need to help each other out. Help us out.
That ain't gonna work.
That ain't gonna work.
You wasting time. I'm just letting you know you wasting time signing a petition. That ain't gonna happen. That ain't gonna work, my boy. It's way deeper than that.
I do sound crazy to talk about signing a petition with that. You clearly just said, and I heard obviously that they already passed the bill and voted on it, and I think the votes was something like 300 or something to 65. So. Ain't no goddamn way in hell they want this over here.
It's a matter of time. They gave them a timeline. I think it's like either 3 to 6 months to sell your whole TikTok thing, and it's like, or it's over for you. And they don't even care about the amount. They like, get your money. We don't care about the money. But y'all ain't gonna run this no more.
That's my thing. You got 3 to 6 months to find an American to buy this, because not just anybody. You got 3 to 6 months to find American to buy this. This app. Is this conglomerate of money that's going on. And if you don't, what's going to happen, EP? They're going to shut that shit down, like I said. Ain't no security threat, no security risk. They can shut that shit down right now. You go pull up TikTok, think you finna dance and sing along, and that shit be buzzing with a blank screen. You be 5 minutes clicking the button like, what the fuck is going on? Shit.
You know what I mean? So crazy, dog.
But one thing I learned in life, man, there's always a chance. So I don't know if y'all can go out there and somehow get 1 trillion signatures, maybe 1 million, 2 million signatures. Maybe we can keep TikTok alive. Anybody know Mr. Trump? Trump won't that down. He want True Social going on. He gonna shut that down.
Trump on the way. He backing up. He coming through. He gonna get it out of here.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Hey, Johnny D, he wrote in the comments, bro. He talking about rise up. If Vic goes to the Saints, he dead to me. Laugh out loud.
You see what I'm saying?
That's a good one right there. I can feel that a little bit.
That's good. Think about that though. Mike Vick is the Atlanta Falcon hero. Atlanta loves Michael Vick to death. You hear me? Now, this thing about he just said he's signing with the New Orleans Saints for 10 days to back up court. Man, the Falcon Nation will go berserk. Right. Rightfully so. It would be weird. It would be very weird. It'd be very weird. But that's how
the emotion behind that.
Huh?
I can feel the emotion behind that. Like, dang, like it'll hurt, bro. You know what I'm saying?
I'm not trying to pick on you. I'm just a serious question. I'm sorry. But I know you played in some bad times, some sorry times for the Bengals. But who was y'all rival?
Pittsburgh Steelers.
Pittsburgh. Was y'all competitive? That's when y'all used to go like 3-12 and stuff like that.
Yeah, I've never made the playoffs. They started making the playoffs right when I went to Jacksonville. But before that, the Bengals was called the Bungles. It's the laughing stock team of the league at that time. Like, it just was not considered to be serious. When Chad changed his name to Ocho Cinco, we started getting some publicity. I think you know what happened? Let me tell you the turning point of the Bengals whole franchise. I don't know if you realize it. The turning point, I know there's some Bengals fans watching. They're going to agree. The turning point was we was so sorry. And Kansas City, they were so good. They was 8-0, bro. They had Priest Holmes. Remember that?
Yeah.
And Dante Hall. They was so electric and good. They came to Cincinnati, and Chad went on there and said, I guarantee we going to win. He guaranteed it. Like, people just didn't talk like, I guarantee we going to win.
I remember that.
He was like, if I don't win, you can take my game check. And everybody, and we won. And everybody was like, And it kind of like just blossomed from there. And I guess Chad went like, I think I need to do something in the media every week. So every week he's doing something, and it just brought a lot of attention. That was the turning point of the franchise, bro.
You know, that's funny because Chad's still doing that crazy stuff now. Remember when the Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford fight was coming up? He was talking about if Terrence Crawford lose, he's not having sex for a year and he's divorcing his wife. He's still doing that stuff, man.
He still does it, man. He act like he's so serious and really stand behind it. Like he look in the eye and you would think he's really serious, dog. Without blinking, he would tell you that.
Exactly. Yeah, man.
Oh, man.
UCF, man, we was pretty sorry too, man. It's like you didn't get to experience any good football from college to the pros, huh?
No, back up. High school.
Even high school.
I've never played in no postseason game. I've been the guy that.
So you never experienced a championship, playoffs, like any championship anywhere?
Never, as a player, never went to. You got to think how many years of football I played. We didn't go. I remember one year we went like I think it was like 7-4 at UCF, and we still didn't get in the bowl game. Remember that? We thought we was going. They did not pick us to go in that bowl game.
6 and 7 in an independent conference. We think we're going to a bowl game. Wow.
So we didn't get in.
Hopeful. We were very hopeful and sorry. Hey, you couldn't tell us we were sorry though, because we didn't think we were sorry. You know what I mean? We probably looked at each other and probably like he was sorry, but we was like, we ain't sorry as a team. You know what I mean? We got Larry over there. We got Big Black over there. We got Mike Lynch over here, got Travis Fisher, got Kenny Clark. So, you know, we wasn't sorry until we played the teams, and then we realized we were sorry. Like, you remember that first time? I think it was our freshman year, leading up to playing in Purdue and Drew Brees. Y'all don't know Atlanta Falcon Nation. I played against Drew Brees. We played against Drew Brees in college. And we was practicing hard, thinking we finna win this game. Like, we finna shock the world, shock the nation.
Like we actually got a chance.
And boy, it's like I was seeing how sorry we was and how our athletic skills matched up against Purdue athletes and their athletic skills. We was outmatched totally. And Drew Brees, it looked like a high school offense against above college offense that was going at it. That's what the difference was at quarterback in the offense with Drew Brees. So, yeah, I knew we were sorry then. And then I was looking at our uniforms. I'm looking at our uniforms compared to everybody else in Division I uniform. And I'm like, if our uniforms look like this, yeah, we sorry, man, because nobody want to support us and give us anything. So we got to build this up because we are sorry right now, man. Yeah, we got our butt kicked. But then we started moving up. We played Penn State. We got better. We started getting close. And then, boy, we beat the Alabama Crimson Tide. Boy, we beat Alabama. Finally shocked the world. Boy, that was one of the best feelings in the world.
That was good. To beat them on homecoming. Don't forget, on homecoming. UCF went there and beat Alabama on their homecoming.
Don't think about the UCF now. Think about like a D2 school. A D2 school going to Alabama. And, boy, that's when we started going, thinking we can go to the league because we started covering them, playing against these receivers. And it's supposed to be NFL talent, caliber talent. And, boy, we playing toe-to-toe with these dudes. They ain't Superman. They ain't unstoppable. They just look like that on film. We want to stride for stride, go for go, play for play, and we beat that ass.
We beat Alabama, but it wasn't just Alabama. We came close. Like, we only lost to Auburn by 3. Remember we went to Georgia. We lost by 2 points. They called that fluke on Kenny Clark, that pass interference.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and backed us up like 40 yards. But yeah, let me tell you, home field advantage. Let me tell you, we about to beat the shit out of Georgia. Division II UCF, because that's what it was at the time. It was D1, but it was really Division II. But we had a touchdown, Kenny Clark in the back of the end zone. We about to win the game. They called pass interference and moved the ball back like 40 yards. Back then, the penalty was only 15 yards. It wasn't place the ball at the spot of the foul and all that stuff. Man, the ball went from the 10-yard line to the 50. I promise you, took us out of field goal range. I remember that exactly. Like that was crazy, man.
Game would have been over. UCF, baby.
But you say we did come close to a lot of games. I didn't realize that. I forgot about that. We can't. Let me tell y'all what's funny about Georgia. Man, they had this defensive end. What was his name? Grant?
Yeah, Charles Grant.
Charles Grant. And man, Charles Grant, my dog, Charles Grant, played for New Orleans. Y'all know Charles Grant and NO. Charles Grant, right? Big, he's about 280 pounds, run like a 4.5. Just one of those big country halls, straight athlete, right? And when you got pregame, you watching film, you're understanding who the players are on the team and who you got to compete and play against. And man, they was taking him from defensive end and putting him at running back. Mm-hmm. And when I saw this on film, I was so terrified. And then when we got to the game with the 80,000 fans around screaming that we not used to, and they threw him a quick pitch, and he caught the ball and was running. Now, I ain't the starter at this time, so I'm looking from the sideline. I'm like, man, I'm happy I'm not out there right now because he's about EP size because they was both the ends. And I'm just waiting. I'm watching him run. I'm waiting to see who's going to run into him and hit him and try to tackle him. And nobody wanted to tackle him because everybody was smaller than him. It was crazy. It was crazy that game. Who was starting at defense end? It was how big were they at that time? EP?
I think Fred Harley had to be 6'2",
260,
260, right? Marv Richardson probably 6'4", 265, right? So he was bigger than all our DNs by a long shot, like no doubt.
That made me terrified though, watching that play, man, and then watching him as a running back. We ever had and then we had another crazy situation where the coach, let me see if you remember this, EP. Who the heck was we playing? Did we playing like a Louisiana Lafayette or something, Division I AA team? And this team, Louisiana had this wide receiver. He was tall, big, lanky, fat. And coach was like, something to the extent of, yeah, man, he has a broken leg right there. He out there playing with a broke leg. And
wooden leg.
A wooden leg. That's what it was. Oh, you remember. That's what it was. So you do remember. He had us limited. It was limited. So gone and tricked us and had us thinking this receiver, I can't even think of his name, was playing with a wooden leg and he was moving. Man, during the game, while we covering and watching him, all we doing is looking for a wooden leg. Still to this day, I don't know if he was lying or not. Oh, he was lying, right? It was a lie.
I think so. I know Fish know this story like the back of his hand. But yeah, he's looking for that wooden leg. Everybody just looking like, he got a...
Yeah, man. Yeah, that was crazy. So you never know, man, the stories your coaches give you to try to motivate you.
We got to do a show, man, of UCF stories, bro. That's what we got to give. We got to give you some insight on UCF.
We got to gather up some of the college
not
stories.
A show, but maybe a few segments of it, because that people won't believe what we came from, bro. People think like it's not what you see today.
Good. So since you here and he was a witness to all this stuff, let me tell you about my competitive ways and situations that ended me up in. So I'm sitting across like 2-3 houses over from EP's house, which is my dog Travis Fisher and Thad Ward, their brothers, their house. So I'm over there all the time, whatever, we're shooting shit, this and that. And we come up, we just start arguing, which is the competition part about who stays up the latest. Dumbest shit in the world. Listen to me. Me and my dog Travis Fisher is arguing about who stays up the latest. And it just doesn't end in an argument. We have to put action to this. How we gonna prove it, Zunt? Shit, let's get in the car. See who fall asleep first. So we get our ass in the car. I'm driving, so I got the total advantage. And we drive. And I'm just looking at him. Because I got to stay up. I turn the AC up. And we ride around the city of Orlando for about an hour and a half trying to see who's going to go to sleep first. And that's what I mean by my competitive ways. Sometimes you get the best of me and you end up doing crazy shit. And then you bring this to a team and coaches that ain't comfortable with your influence. And now they feel uncomfortable because they don't coach that hard or they don't press that hard. And that's just me venting. One day I can learn how to do different things, have a different approach rather. But that was one of the stories that like you said, we got tons of them. We literally sat in front of the house, argued, got in the car, and rode around for an hour and a half to see who will fall asleep first. I think that was one of the dumbest things I did in college, boy. That was definitely So yeah, man. So say what needs to be said. What they talking about in the comments? What's left in the comments, brother?
Anything? We're gonna have to. Jordan Watkins wanted to know our take on the cornerback class. I just don't know if he meant from the free agents or the draft class.
Yeah, no, he probably talking about the cornerbacks in the draft. We'll touch on that next time. Close to the draft. I told him I'm gonna give him a cornerback analysis and breakdown and all that things and tell him, who I think could be a breakout cornerback. Who they sleeping on, you know what I mean? Who the next 50 interception cornerback in 10 years who can get the job done. So we'll touch on that next time to say what needs to be said. Hey, send the comments, send stories, whatever y'all want to hear about, what y'all want to talk about. Make sure y'all continue to like, comment, subscribe. Thank y'all for y'all continued support. And we appreciate y'all. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, you know what I mean?
Yep.
Salute. We'll see y'all next time. Say what needs to be said. We out.